watching Morning at NTV. Welcome back to Morning at NTV with me, Romy Busuku and Mala. Now, earlier on in the year, in March to be specific, authorities at Kigezi High School in Kabale district suspended all students following a strike at the school. Now, students staged the strike against the decision by the school administration to deny them a chance to participate in the forthcoming Copa Coca-Cola post-primary football tournament. The strike was a wake-up call to the school's old boys and girls on the dire situation at Kabale's Pride, dotingly called Shank by the locals. So I have a video of their forthcoming fundraising dinner. Let's just tease it. It's 3 minutes long, and then we'll be right back with that conversation with Mr. David Bahati, the State Minister for Finance and Planning right there. He's also the Ndora East MP. I also have Alfred Kabuchu. Yeah, he is the Managing Director at The Point Consultants, and we shall have this banter shortly after this short-lived video. We'll be right back.
This is obviously a great occasion where the OBs and OGs gather to interact, to network, and also to make a contribution, strengthening and building of the school, Kigezi High School.
He cannot see your teeth, his ears don't know that he cannot hear you cry. Your tomorrow must be greater than today. Your tomorrow must be greater than today.
Today, I think all of us should think differently. We are running a race. We've got to compete. We've got to do things differently. And being rich is not a bad thing. Being successful is not a bad thing. But because I came here and the Prime Minister welcomed me in that way, I'm going to give you 50 million. Thank you.
So we have been working long and hard, and we promise that we are going to renovate this Agri House. So today, I'm glad to tell you, all the students, that my family have been able to raise 30 million. And we have been debating on our forum what we should contribute to this fundraising drive. And I have decided on their behalf that we shall give 10 million.
My remarks really is about thanking you for networking, for coming to associate with Kigezi High School, and also asking, would like to hear from you, what is it you would like us to do that can actually make a difference. I would be glad that one time we would need to have a reunion, maybe in Nambole, where like all the 5,000 to 10,000 old students are very well represented.
Well, the school right there, Kigezi, is a Church Missionary Society funded school, and it will be making 100 years in 2022. Now for this discussion, we have Honorable David Bahati, the State Minister of Finance in charge of planning, and The Point Managing Director, The Point Consultants Managing Director, Alfred Kabuchu, also joins us right now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Gentlemen, thank you for making the time.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Kamuchu, earlier on in March, students were suspended for staging a protest. Right now, let's take a look at what the situation is right now at Kigezi.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. The situation at the school now is that the school is on the upward. That was one of the turning points that we had for the school, and we're on the upward. We have new leadership, we have a new headmaster, we have a new deputy headmaster, we have a focus team. The students are disciplined, they are going to class, and our target is that Kigezi School should be one of the best 10 schools in Uganda within the next few years, by 2022, when the school will be celebrating 100 years.
So what is stopping Kigezi High School from achieving that feat now?
There was a time when leadership was not very good, and some of the things were either overlooked or were not focused on. But now we are on the upward, and there is a lot of focus. The stakeholders are all working together as a team, and the students understand that the time they spend at the school is the time that's going to make a difference in their future.
Of course, in studio we also have the State Minister of Finance in charge of planning, Honorable David Bahati. You're also an MP for Ondora West County, right there. So Kigezi High, we are taking a look at Kigezi High School right there. How did we get here in this position?
Well, first of all, earlier on you said you refer to Kigezi School as Shank. Those who know
by the
Kigezi
locals,
School,
yeah.
By the locals. That's a different school we are referring to. But also to add on what Alfred has said, we are now past the worst situation at the school. We experienced a lot of problems in terms of performance. We were the best school in 1986, I think, in senior 6, and because of the leadership, because of lack of a conducive environment for students to study in, that performance has been going down until we now come in as old students. As you know, a school can be as strong as its involvement by the old students. So now the old students are coming in to make a contribution to the school. We are not saying that government has failed or the parents have failed, but we are saying we have a duty as old students to come back and make a contribution to the school. So issues of leadership contributed to this downward performance. The environment, the structures, where students sleep, where students study from, also contributed. But as you know, government has a plan to renovate all these old students, and we have started with some of them, old schools. We want to renovate Kigezi School, we want to renovate Nyakasula, Ntale, Gayaza, all these old schools that really made a contribution to the education system in our country. But we cannot do it at the same time. So there is a plan to go gradually. But in the meantime, all students from all over these schools have really started making a contribution. And Kigezi School is one of those schools where all students are saying, let's make a contribution, and this time we are building momentum to the 2022 centenary celebrations, and by that time we want to have put up a multi-purpose building aiming at ICT to make Kigezi School one of the best schools in the country. And we think, given the current leadership, given the momentum we are building and the contribution the old students are making, Kigezi School will be #1 by 2022.
So let's keep the lens on the leadership structure right there. Is it proper for leaders to always wait for a strike by the students to front the remedies in such situations?
Before the strike and after the strike, the old students have been involved in the administration and the leadership and of the school. So the strike came in, and actually we are past the strike. It's not the strike that has necessitated the old students come. We made a contribution before the strike. We are making the contribution even after the strike. A strike was part of the symptoms of the indiscipline of the students at the school, of lack of proper leadership at the school, and those are the things that now we are fixed. We have very strong headmaster, the administration is very strong. We are making sure that we have the right teachers in place, and we put systems of monitoring the discipline of students, making sure you are in the right place at the right time. You are, if it's time for eating, you are in the dining hall. If it's time for studying, you are in the class. So we think that with this new current system, with the support of all students, with the support of government, we will be able, and the church, we will be able to make this school the best school by 22 in the whole country.
Let me also engage Mr. Alfred Kabuchu, the Managing Director at the Point Consultants, right there. Now, in 1922, this school was one of the best, I believe. One of the very, very, very best. It started in 1922, right?
Yeah.
But it was one of the very, very, very best. Kigezi High School, I've heard very, very good things about it. But then, with these strikes coming in our faces, aren't we letting the legacy of this very, very, very great school down?
Thank you very much. I'm actually the chairman of the Old Students Steering Committee, and bringing together the teams. And our patron is the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda. The school was started on 22nd of February 1922. It started with 11 students, and people will be surprised, but the school fees at the time was actually a goat. It is written that the first students who came, the 11, each one of them came pulling a goat, and most of them were dressed in hides and skins, and that is how the school started.
That was school fees at the time.
That was school fees at the time.
Yeah.
Amazing. But over the years, so much has happened. The school has built a lot of legacy. If you go in any part of the country, and many other parts outside Uganda, you will find evidence of the impact that has been made by the old students of Kigezi High School. Not just our friends like Honorable David Bahati who are impacting the country, but also the Prime Minister, the Governor, some of the former senior leaders in this country, like the Right Honorable Amama Mbabazi, and others. But we also have doctors, we have professors, we have businessmen, both in Uganda and outside Uganda. We have in sports, young people like Muchilezi and others. So the school
has been able to churn out the most influential, or creme de la creme, of the people we are seeing right now in the country, including our very own State Minister for Finance right there. Now, one would beg to ask, aren't we losing the battle right there with these strikes coming in our faces? Don't you think authorities ought to sort these problems even before the students come to, stage these strikes? Mr. Kabuchu, don't you think you should confer with the administration and find a way of sorting these issues before they can blow out and students are striking? We are saying the same at Makerere University, but I don't want to relate to that.
Yes, you have a point there, but I think the process of managing especially young people is a continuous one. If you ask many of the leaders in schools and institutions, they will tell you that on a daily basis they are managing with challenges of dealing with young people, guiding them and ensuring that they remain in the path that will make them better in the years ahead.
But also, one point I wanted to make about Kigezi High School, we have a motto that I serve, and this motto has actually distinguished all the students of Kigezi School. Wherever you see us, whether in politics, whether in science, whether in sports, we are always focused on service above self. One of the models that can help end these strikes, and I studied at Cardiff University, and I was part of the students' leadership there, was the involvement of students in making decisions about the school.
Wow, that is amazing.
To be part and parcel of every step of decision making or about the school, so that the students are not left out. The students know that they are part and parcel of the decision making of the school, of the school, about the school. And if a decision is not palatable to the student, they should also own it, because they are part and parcel of it. And it helped us to sort out so many issues when I was a leader, the student leader of MBA class at Cardiff University.
So ideally what is happening at Cardiff is not translating to the administration right here?
I think it's something that we needed to copy, but also here, as you know, like at Makere, so many other things come in, politicians trying to involve students in violence and all that. But we are glad that now, as His Excellency said yesterday at the caucus, students now are talking to administration, and we hope that they will be able to come to a point to listen to what the administration is saying, which is the good thing for the school, and resolve that. The violence does not solve problems.
Indeed.
You cannot, it's a dialogue.
Yeah, so let's revert to the conversation, which is Kigezi High School. We've seen one too many times, the OBs and OGs taking on the mantle to develop their schools. Where is government in all this? Why are you taking all this pressure onto yourselves?
The government's presence is abundant in all these schools, and we are making contribution as all the students. So the effort of the old students is actually to make a contribution to a school which nurtured you, which put you at a point where you are. It does not mean that the government is not involved. And as I told you, we have a plan to renovate all these old schools. The Ntalis, the Kigezi High School, Nakasula, Amwiri, all those are we are planning to do them. But in the meantime, all students are coming to do something. Even if we had done them to the best, there is always space for all the students to make a contribution to their schools, and that's what we are trying to do.
Yes, Mr. Kabucha, I'm just coming to you. Yeah, I also saw this. We had an OB and an OG, Namiliango and Gayaza, and they were saying that the reason why they are going back to their schools, they have this sense of patriotism, and then they would like to engage the younger people to also be as patriotic as they are when it comes to the affairs of their schools and the development of their schools. So,
yes,
so I'm looking at it. Is it an issue of patriotism?
It's both patriotism and providing exemplary leadership. To know that you as a student at Kigezi High School, don't be discouraged, to give them hope that actually you can be the best that God has created you to be. The school made me what I am today. It can make you.
So you're doing your part to give back.
So we are giving back. Yeah, we are doing our part to give back, but also to encourage the students there to do their best to exploit their potential.
Mr. Kabuchi, because a patriot can never ask a question like, where is the role of government in all this? A patriot will just ask, what can I do to help and arrest the situation? What do you make of that?
You are right. I want to let you know that as old students, we are actually giving back with passion. The old students have renovated the Warren House, Bitwari House, Wankosia House, Agre House. We've done some bathrooms at the girls' residential area. We've done some laboratories, repaired them. There are also other works which are ongoing and coming up, and we've done career guidance sessions. So we've been serving with a passion. We've been serving with a patriotism that is in the hearts. We would like to see those young people come up and tomorrow occupy some of the space that is occupied by us and others at different levels. So it is that passion, it is that patriotism, it is that desire to give back and to thank God and to thank the stakeholders that we were put where we are because of the support and the learning and the education we received from the school. And we also would like the young people who are there now to be able to do that in future, themselves having been economically empowered and having had better futures, and also be able to do that also for their children and for the others who will be at the school.
And because of that, we have set ourselves to raise around 2-point-something billion?
Yes.
2.5 billion in the next 3 years.
Okay. How are you going to do that?
2.5
through fundraising?
Through fundraising. And on Saturday, and as we have done before, Saturday will be part of that effort to raise 2.5 billion. So we have 2.5 billion to raise in the next 3 years. And you as an old boy and as an old girl, you can make a contribution on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, on an annual basis. And
so the onus is essentially on the OBs and OGs. Government won't give you anything to front this 2.5.
This thinking that government can solve all our problems is not appropriate. Government cannot solve all our problems.
Okay, we are about to go. Let me just lastly maybe engage Mr. Alfred Kabuchu. Just tell us briefly about the forthcoming fundraising dinner. What should we expect?
We expect that the all students will come. We will start with a Thanksgiving service at 2 p.m. at the school. After the Thanksgiving service, we will have a dinner. And during the dinner and the Thanksgiving service, we'll have fundraising. We're also going to lay a foundation stone for the multi-purpose building for the centenary. We want to put up as a building that will stay for the next 50 to 100 years to farm the legacy of the school. And we'd like all the old students to be part of this. We'd like them to come and join us on Saturday and be part of the process of the legacy of
Also, Mr. Bahati, final remarks as we go.
Well, we all appeal to the old students to come in big numbers on Saturday for the Thanksgiving ceremony at Kigezi High School, and also to make a contribution to this multi-purpose hall for the next 3 years. 2.5 billion we are looking at, and we think that even we can raise more than that in the next 3 years.
Awesome. That was the State Minister of Finance in charge of planning, David Bahati. He also doubles as the MP for Dora West County right there. And we also had Mr. Alfred Kabuchu. He's the Point Consultant Managing Director right there. We've been talking about Kigezi High School. They have a fundraising dinner on Saturday. Map your dates and make your way right there to raise 2.5 billion for the development of that school. The government will not be giving them a single point. This is a patriotic venture right there. Right about now, our viewers who are celebrating their birthday today, Mala has a surprise for you on the other side of the studio. Mala, take that away.